General Hospital spoilers. Why? Robin needs to come home before Anna loses everything. So here we are again talking about Port Charles like it's a real place and these people are our neighbors. And honestly, at this point, it kind of is. If you've been watching General Hospital lately, you already know the vibes are off. Really off. Anna Devane, locked up in some fancy French mental institution, doped up and called crazy, while the audience sits at home going, "She's not insane, you idiots. She's Anna." And that's the big problem right now, because the story is screaming for one person, Robin Scorpio Drake, her daughter, her heart, her anchor, and yet silence. So let's dump this all out. Messu, exhausted, like a reporter who's been awake since yesterday and is living on cold coffee and microwave noodles. First the setup. Anna Devane, who has survived more kidnappings, gunshots, brainwashing plots, mob wars, and Cassadine hellscapes than anyone should in 10 lifetimes, has been tossed into a mental hospital in France. Not just for rest, not a spa, not a quiet retreat, a straight-up institution. White coats, locked doors, drugs. The whole, "you're unstable, dear, just take your meds" routine. But the thing is, we know she's not broken. Yes, she has trauma. Yes, she's been tortured. Literally tortured. Gaslit at Windermere for months. Made to question her own mind. Pushed until even she started to wobble a bit. But deep down, Anna is still Anna. And she's been saying one thing over and over again, Cesar Faison might be alive. And before you roll your eyes and say, "Yeah, right again, remember this is kids, Britt Westbourne and Nathan West," already did the whole back from the dead dance. Or at least Britt did, and Nathan's name keeps getting dragged back into story after story like a ghost that won't stay buried. So if we can buy that, it's not that wild to think maybe, just maybe, Faison's not as gone as people want to believe. But here's the ugly part. Instead of listening, people are acting like Anna's lost it, like she's some fragile, delusional woman who suddenly snapped, which is insane in itself. This is the same woman who has taken down WSB threats, mob bosses, and war criminals without blinking. And now they want us to believe she just cracked because of a few months of torture she's made of steel. Yes, she's been drugged. Yes, she's been played with. Yes, she's been kept in the dark. But a full break from reality, no. That's lazy. That's disrespectful to the character. And honestly, the only ones who seem to remember who Anna really is are Jack Brennan and Valentin Cassadine. And isn't that wild Brennan, who has his own shady past and complicated feelings? Valentin, who's done more than his fair share of terrible things and still somehow sees Anna more clearly than half of Port Charles. They might not be perfect, but at least they aren't buying the "Anna is crazy now" label the clinic is trying to slap on her. They know better. So where does Robin come in? Everywhere. Robin is not just some random character who can be mentioned in passing. She's legacy. She's the kid who grew up on screen, the daughter of Anna and Robert, the heart of the Scorpio Devane clan. She's the one who held Jason Morgan's life in her hands and paid the price. The one who dealt with HIV as a young woman when daytime barely touched that stuff. She's strong because her mother is strong, and her mother is strong because she fought for Robin. So the fact that Anna is locked away in this French clinic being pumped full of drugs and Robin is not physically there, it doesn't sit right at all. Right now, Emma Scorpio Drake is the one carrying the news. We've got Emma telling Gio Palmieri she has to leave Port Charles, head to California and see her mom Robin to tell her what's going on with Anna. Sweet scenes, cute moment, but still off screen. We're hearing about it, not seeing it, and that's what's driving fans nuts. Because this is the kind of story where you want the camera right there. You want to see Emma walk into Robin's house. You want to see Robin's face when she really hears, that her mother is locked up in a mental institution in Paris and being treated like some unstable stranger. You want Robin's reaction, not a recap. And honestly, with Robin's history, does anyone really think she'd just sit back and accept a doctor's report that says, "Your mom is mentally unwell, trust us, no chance"? And that brings up Mac and Felicia. Mac Scorpio, Felicia Scorpio, Ana ba Felicia. This is not some random couple. These are veterans, fighters, family. So it feels almost impossible that Mac and Felicia would just nod along and say, Well, I guess the French clinic knows best. No, come on. These people have been kidnapped, shot, lied to, replaced by doubles, thrown off cliffs. They've seen the worst of the worst. They would be suspicious of everything and everyone. And these so-called doctors, they set off red flags the minute they open their mouths. Because let's be real, the clinic feels shady. Those doctors feel complicit, like they're part of a bigger con, a cover-up, a scheme that probably has Faison's fingerprints all over it, even if he's supposedly just a brain in a jar. And yes, that's the rumor, that his brain is literally sitting in a jar somewhere. But this is a soap. Things like that never stay simple. Brains, clones, twins, mass secret labs, pick your poison. So picture this: Anna, drugged, locked away, Mac trying to trust the system but clearly unsettled, Felicia thinking something doesn't add up. And somewhere in California, Robin is about to hear that her mom is being written off as unstable by strangers in another country. Does anyone honestly believe she just sent flowers and a concerned text? No chance. She'd be on the first flight to Paris. And that's exactly why fans are asking, begging, shouting on social media, where is Robin? Some of this went down in the February 9th episode when Mac had that chat with Laura Collins and brought up Robin. He even joked that his gray hair came from the days when Robin was dating Jason Morgan. Tiny detail, but it's a reminder Robin matters. Her history matters. Her ties to Port Charles still exist. She's not gone. She's just off screen. And it feels like the show knows that, but isn't quite ready to pull the trigger on bringing her back. Then you got Emma talking to Gio, dropping the news that she has to leave, that she needs to see her mom, that she has to tell Robin about Anna. It's emotional, sure, but again, it's secondhand. People talking about Robin instead of Robin talking for herself. And then there's this tease floating around. Tintuk Helove Fem, General Hospital, Emma teamed in Nathan. Translation: spoilers hinting that Emma's path, or at least her search for answers, might somehow connect back to Nathan's memory, his story, his legacy. It's that whole web again. Faison, Britt, Nathan, all tied together with Anna in the middle. The show keeps circling the same dead people, but is weirdly dragging its feet on bringing back one living, breathing, crucial character, Robin. So the big question, is it time to recast? This is where things get really touchy. Kimberly McCullough is Robin. Full stop. She's played Robin since she was a kid. She grew up with this role. The character is woven into her life and into the show's DNA. There is a deep emotional connection there that fans are not going to forget or just shrug off. And yes, McCullough has shifted her focus. She's directing. She has a real-life career behind the camera now. She can't just drop everything and do a long-term soap run. That's reality. So what does the show do with that? On paper, the answer seems easy: recast. They've done it before with other legacy roles. They've brought in new faces, new versions, new takes. It keeps the story moving. And right now, story-wise, Robin's presence feels necessary. Anna is in danger. The family is scattered. The audience is emotionally invested. The timing is perfect. But here's the problem. For a lot of viewers, recasting Robin feels like crossing a line. An insult even. Not just to the character, but to McCullough herself. Like saying, thanks for the decades, but we'll just swap you out now. And that's not easy to swallow. Some fans are already saying it online. A recast would be hard to accept. Maybe even impossible. Especially if it's done casually, like no big deal. Robin is not just another doctor at the hospital. She is Robin, Scorpio Drake. She is the child who lived through Stone, who loved Jason, who faced down illness and loss and still kept going. You don't just slap another face on that history and hope it works. But then again, what's worse? No Robin at all, just mentions and memories. Or a recast Robin who can actually show up for Anna, fight for her. Get in people's faces. Storm that French clinic and demand the truth. In an ideal world, the answer is simple: Kimberly comes back. Even if it's just a short run. A few weeks. A month. Enough time for Robin to go to Paris, confront the doctors, talk to Anna. Maybe help uncover the truth about what's really going on and whether Faison is somehow still pulling strings from beyond the grave or out of that jar. A tight, powerful arc. Then she can go back to her life and the story can move on. And that would be the dream. The perfect balance. Fans get Robin. Anna gets Robin. The story gets the emotional punch it needs. And McCullough doesn't have to sign on for a full-time contract. But real life is messy. Schedules don't line up. Commitments clash. So, the show might be standing at this crossroads asking, do we wait and keep writing around Robin, or do we bite the bullet and recast? Meanwhile, poor Anna is stuck. Drugged up, gaslit, controlled. Stripped of power. And that alone is painful to watch because if anyone deserves backup right now, it's her. She's been saying Faison could be alive. No one wants to hear it. But if Britt could cheat death, if Nathan's presence can still be felt, if brains can live in jars and still manage to haunt the living, then the idea that Faison is really truly fully gone is actually the thing that feels the least believable. And if Faison is alive, or if someone is using his name, his image, his memory, then Port Charles is in deep trouble. Again, because here's the thing about Anna, when she says something this big, this insane, she's usually right. Maybe not 100% on the details. Maybe not every piece of the puzzle. But her instincts, dead on. So, the longer everyone ignores her, the worse it's going to get. And that's another reason Robin needs to be there. Robin believes in Anna. Always has. Even when she's angry. Even when they clash. Even when Anna makes mistakes. There is a trust there that doesn't break. Right now, the story feels like it's dangling. Like it's one major character away from really landing. Mac talking to Laura about Robin was a reminder. Emma flying to California is another. All these hints, all this setup, and fans are tired of hearing Robin this, Robin that, with no payoff. They want the real deal. So what happens next? Maybe Emma shows up at Robin's door, breathless, eyes wide, spilling out the whole nightmare. Mom, Grandma Anna's in a mental hospital in Paris. They're saying she's crazy, but she's not. She thinks Faison is alive. No one's listening to her. They're drugging her. You have to do something. And maybe Robin's face just goes still. That quiet Scorpio fire kicks in. She books her flight. She calls Mac. She calls Felicia. She calls anybody who'll pick up. And she goes. Or maybe that scene only exists in our heads for now. Maybe the show doesn't go there yet. Maybe they write another off-screen phone call with Robin that we don't see. Another update Emma tells someone about instead of showing it. More distance. More delay. It's frustrating. Because the pieces are right there. At the end of the day, this whole arc comes down to one thing, belief. Does anyone believe Anna? Does anyone believe that she's still in her right mind? Even after everything that's been done to her, does anyone believe that Faison might still be out there? In some twisted form. And does anyone believe that Robin, of all people, would stay quiet while her mother is locked away and labeled insane? Fans don't buy it. Not for a second. So whether it's through a short-term comeback from Kimberly McCullough or a carefully handled, respectful recast, General Hospital needs Robin right now. Not as a name dropped in conversation, but as a living, breathing force in this story. Someone who can stand in that French clinic, look those experts in the eye, and say, you're wrong. I know my mother, and you're not going to break her. Because if Anna Devane is going to walk through this fire, she deserves her daughter at her side. And Port Charles deserves to see that fight, not just hear about it in after-the-fact dialogue. So yeah, the show can drag its feet for a bit longer. It can tease, hint, nudge, but sooner or later it has to decide. Bring Robin back, one way or another. And until that happens, every scene of Anna lying in that hospital bed, eyes dull from drugs, will feel like something's missing. Not just from the room, but from the show's heart. Robin should be there. She should have been there already. And if General Hospital wants this storyline to really hit, to really matter, then it's time. Bring her home.